Right, what's up, traders? Happy Thursday. I sometimes forget what day of the week it is, Andre. I work late nights. But yeah, I'm here with Andre from Edgeful. We wanted to get on, chat about some new updates from the company, how guys are actually making money using Edgeful. Obviously, you guys have heard me speak about it a lot, but it's good always to get Andre on, the founder of Edgeful, to speak about new updates and that all that good shit. Right. So Andre, welcome. Maybe give a brief introduction for those that are watching you for the first time, and then we'll get right into it.
Yeah, sure. So what's up, everyone? I'm Andre, the CEO, founder of Edgeful. For those of you who don't know what Edgeful is, it's pretty much a data analysis platform for traders. We'll tell you the probabilities around pretty much like any concept you could think of, like, for example, how often the price breaks out of both sides of the opening range, what weekdays make the highs and lows of the week, how often gaps fill, what days have the most volume, literally like anything you can imagine. We have it in a way that's like really easy to digest, regardless of your level of experience with data. It doesn't matter. You can come in, open it up, and instantly have an edge.
Brilliant. Yeah, and I think particularly for me, so for those watching, particularly for me that has moved over from the currencies and looking at the indexes, it's price action and it's similar stuff, right? But I think like there's those certain nuances, like the initial balance. I didn't know about the initial balance until I found out about Edgeful, right? And I think the cool part is I've actually been working with Edgeful before they even went public, right? Before they IPO'd. But yeah, so it's been a super cool journey, and I think it's helped me a lot in my own trading, making the switch over at the beginning of July from the currencies to the indexes. So Andre, if you want to share your screen, we'll get that up, and then let's speak about some of the new updates that are currently coming through to Edgeful. So
Perfect.
Let's get that up there, and then we'll add yours to the...
There it is. I'll move everything over, right? So you can...
Perfect. There we go.
Perfect. All right. So I'm going to touch on a couple new reports that we released just before I go into like the new major updates. Have we spoken about the opening candle continuation and then the power hour reports?
I think the opening candle continuation, I think the guys sometimes they hear me speaking about that too much.
Okay,
yes, I've spoken, but let's touch on it for those that are watching for the first time. There's always going to be some viewers that are watching for the first time.
Yeah, so I'm just trying to touch on some of the ones, like maybe a little bit of the less popular ones that I do think are really important. And for example, that opening candle continuation is one of them. It's a very simple report. And what it does is it tells you if the first hour, so now I have my customization to that first hour, if the first hour of the market open from 9:30 to 10:30 Eastern time is green, what is the likelihood that the day closes green? If that first hour is red, what is the likelihood that the day closes red? So just for those of you who might not know like kind of how to plot this out, you don't want to go to a 1 hour chart. You want to go to the 30-minute chart because that's where you can start from 9:30 and then just take the first two candles at 9:30. Like for example, today, clearly the open from 9:30 to 10:30 was very much red, which would be this area right here. So now that this is red, there is a very good chance that today is going to close red. And what do I mean by closing red? Closing below the open of the day.
Yes.
So you can see that if that first candle is green, there is a 74% chance in the last 6 months that price is going to close green today. If that first candle is red, there is a 69% chance that price is going to close red today. Did I say red today twice? I meant to say green today for green candle, red today for red candle. So very strong bias. So the way you want to kind of think about it is if you do want to wait for that initial balance to form, that first hour of trading, that also gives you a very strong bias for the rest of the day to say, well, now I can be bullish. Now, if I want to hold on to my winners, kind of like extend and maximize my profits, I can do that based on these reports. This is definitely more day trading oriented, and it doesn't have any specific levels other than you want to expect price, for example, literally today, to close below the open or the market open, which would be, in this case, this red line on NQ. So that's one of them.
And so that opening candle, sorry to butt in, Andre, that opening candle continuation, For those watching, I really do like that for bias. I think a lot of the times, and Crudelli, one of the, you guys will always hear me speak about Anthony Crudelli. He always says he doesn't like to pick a bias based off the open. I don't know in your trading, Andre, but picking a bias right off the open can sometimes be very tough. Yes, we have some pre-market price action, but look at today, pre-market price action, we're way up on Taiwanese semiconductor, earnings, but then all of a sudden we get a massive down day. So we can't just come and buy under the open. It can be quite tough. Sometimes waiting that first 30 minutes to an hour can be in your favor.
Exactly. To be honest, one of my favorite ways to find your bias at the open is referencing that previous day's closing price or that gap fill. I probably have talked about this a million times. Like anyone who hears me talk about the gap fill is probably like, oh my God, like stop, like enough already. But it's just, in my opinion, it's just so important because it gives you a direction. It gives you a target and the direction. It gives you that bias too. So to expect price to kind of retrace back to that previous close, I am not of the camp that everything has to always revert to the mean, but historically, this does work very well of targeting that previous day's close. And if we open below, you want to be bullish. If we open above, you want to be bearish.
Sure.
It's a general rule. Obviously, the gap size is very important. The weekday is very important.
Yes.
But overall, that's like one of the, if you are going to trade that first 30 minutes or that first 45 minutes or 1 hour, it's a great tool to give you that directional bias in the day.
Yeah, well, a lot of traders trade that like, I know you'll trade towards that gap fill, but a lot of traders trade that gap and go. So it'll gap and then maybe gap down, or the gap will be up. You'll trade, some traders will trade the move back down, but other traders wait for that gap to fill and then take the move higher.
Correct. Yeah. And one of the biggest drivers of the gap fill is actually the size of the gap. So here we're looking at ES, and you can see that I went to the by size variant, and that if the gap is greater than 1%, it's like almost it's definitely a no trade to target that gap fill. So these are the instances where you can take those gap and goes. Obviously, you need to have a good entry. You can't just enter right at the open. But 83% of the time, a gap up greater than 1% has not filled, and 0 times in the last 6 months has a gap down greater than 1% filled. So really important to understand the size of the gap too. But yeah, that's the gap fill is one of my favorite reports. But the opening candle continuation, again, just gives you that bias in the day. And then the one other one that I'll show is the power hour breakout. This is a newer one. We actually built this for you and Austin. And what this one checks is there a new high or low of day made during power hour? And what are the probabilities around that? So you can see here, I have my customization set to 3 to 4 p.m. Eastern. And right here, a new high of day is not made over 70% of the time between 3 and 4 p.m. And a new low of day is not made 85% of the time. So I will show you what that means, and I'll use yesterday as an example. So right here. So the way that you'd look at this is to say, where does my power hour start? And my power hour starts right here. This is the first candle of power hour.
Sure.
And now what you want to say is, I do not want to expect price to reclaim and make a new high of day between 3 and 4 p.m. I do not want to expect price to move up any higher, and I do not want to expect price to move and break this low down here, because there is a very strong probability that will not happen in that last hour. So
with you.
This is for those of you who like to trade that power hour. I know that people get very excited about it. They think that this is going to be the place where there'll be these crazy explosive moves just because of the name, like power hour. I'm sure that kind of like triggers something where you like assume that there's so much opportunity. But typically, if you are going to take a trade, let's say you wanted to get long. I mean, this is not the best example, but let's say you wanted to get long. You definitely want to take your profits before this high right here, because typically the market's not going to make a new high. And if you are going to go for it, like anything else on Edgeful, you need to understand that you're playing this side of the data, this 29%. And that doesn't mean that it's not going to happen. It does happen just around 30% of the time, but you just need to understand that this is what you're going for. Like you are going for, and you are hoping for a 29% probability to happen today. And it can happen. Sometimes you will be right, but for the most part, you're going to be wrong. So I would not take this trade every time, but if you have some really strong bias, you have some really strong, maybe there's news or something else, you can definitely take it in that context.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, now so we know Andre's one is definitely the gap fill. We've spoken about the opening candle continuation. I've just actually got some longs now on a couple of my accounts on the Dow. We're taking out the initial balance highs. The opening candle was also bullish slightly, so I do like the Dow for longs YM, right? Futures traders Dow YM. So I've had a good day actually as well. So we can actually bring up my charts here too. I do want to chat here because I think definitely that this was actually kind of like a textbook long for me today. So let me just bring up my trade that I did take over here, like that. Right, this was in the London session. So when all the USA guys were having some good rest. But we took our previous day's highs, and if I pull up my main screen here and got CNBC in the background, they always give good Jim Cramer, and he's tried good signal services there. But if we got our previous days, sorry, let me go to my favorites. You can favorite them. I always show the guys you actually can favorite over here. So I've got my favorites over here. You can click this little bookmark section over there if you like a report. You can also search for a report as well. Right. So, but I favorited it, and we go to my previous day's range report. So what this report tells us, if we take out previous day's highs, how often do we close bullish, and vice versa for the lows, right? If we take out previous day's lows, how often do we close bearish? Now, if we go to FDAX, I just use the future. I'm trading the CFDs, but I'm just using futures pricing because it's centralized. But on FDAX, if we go in the last year, when we take out the previous day's highs, 87% of the time we close as a bullish day. And if we go by weekday, 81% of the time on a Thursday, we actually close as a bullish day too. So knowing that, we took our previous day's highs. I actually got long there with a slightly wider stop loss. And I was like, listen, I'm going to place this trade. I'm going to go to gym, see what happens. And I obviously had some nice profits today after a little bit of a crappier trading day yesterday, first trade day of the month, but that shit happens, right? But yeah, this was one of my favorite reports with Edgeful, the previous day's range report. And do you use this by any chance, or know of any traders that use this, Andre?
Yeah, I don't trade as much anymore, unfortunately, just because my schedule is so packed. But when I would trade more actively, trading options with this and selling options, I'm not sure if you're familiar, if anyone watching is familiar, but selling options using this strategy. So pretty much, if you sell options, you can just say, I don't think that price is going to move below this area. So if it stays, if it chops around in this area or goes up, then I make money. So in the example here, once you break previous day's high and you have a really strong edge that it's going to close green, then you can start selling options like down here, expecting them to expire worthless. So then you can capitalize on that, like the options decay. So you sell them, let's say for easy numbers, you sell it for $100. As the day goes on, it will go down to 90, 80, 70, whatever, and it goes down to zero, assuming that you're right. So these are things that I used to use a lot more because it's such an easy setup to take. Like that previous day's high is a very significant level. And I think that we actually built this report for you. You were the one who had asked for this report. So for anyone who's watching, you can request reports on Edgeful. So if we don't have something that you want to see, then like we can actually build it out, and it'll be like a custom build. Like the only criteria is it has to be completely objective. It has to be black and white, like break previous day's high, close red or green. Previous day's low, close red or green. Like it's very black and white. So that's important.
Okay, good. Is there anything else that you wanted to share your side, Andre, with any updates with Edgeful?
For sure. So we are actually, let me just do this.
I've got those now longs, by the way. We're looking pretty good taking out initial balance highs.
Good. Perfect.
Just go back up. Yeah, that's what it look like at the moment. Got bullish price action. I'm getting in at a little bit of a high price. I'm not in super big, but there's something interesting. We've actually taken out the initial balance lows with one candle, but we've held bullish market structure all day. I did have a little bit of some longs in here in the session too, so I'm just playing some continuation plays.
Yeah, nice. Okay, so for those of you who are familiar with the current Edgeful layout, things are going to change. And to be honest, for me, this layout looks so old and antiquated just because I've been looking at this new one for so long. but we're going to change the experience to be a lot more personalized and customizable. So
Sure.
what we're doing here is this is going to be the new report page. We're moving all of the inputs. So like that nav bar that you currently go through is going to move to the side. We're going to add the what's in play bar to each of the reports on the report pages. So if you're just going through your daily routine of going through your reports and you come across the gap fill, it will tell you there's a gap up today on this page, on the report page. It will tell you there's a gap up, here's your target, your bias, etc. Same, and then the rest of the page in here is going to be very familiar. So we're not completely changing everything. We're just going to kind of put some different makeup on it with the different colors, and then make things, which I'll touch on in a second, a lot more easy for you guys to kind of like navigate. So again, same thing with the graph here, with the table. We're adding these streaks. So it'll tell you the last 5 gaps up with the dates. Now, there was some confusion about how to read that, the streaks on the what's in play. So we're going to add the dates down here. Same thing with the table that we currently have. Same thing again with the price chart. The explainer video and then the explainer graph and the explainer text will all be grouped together at the bottom, because like once you know what the report does, you don't need it. So we'll just throw it at the bottom. But
no, that looks clean, bro. I must say, just from my experience as well, like with Edgeful, the user interface is very neat, like very easy to use.
Yeah.
You guys, I mean, but I also did want to make a shout out as well, right? I'm doing some live streams in the Edgeful Discord as well.
Yeah.
So make sure that link is in my bio to Edgeful. The Discord link is on their website.
Yeah.
Make sure to join. I am doing live streams every single Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday from 3 a.m. to 4 a.m. 3 a.m. to 4 a.m. 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. See, I'll get all these time zones. 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. South African time at the moment, which is 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Eastern time.
Yeah. I was going to say
all these time zones, bro. Man,
crazy.
So. Yeah, that I am doing live streams in there. I took actually some dial longs there. So make sure to join. The link is in my bio too.
Yeah,
so
perfect.
Nice.
Perfect. Yeah.
And
then to continue a little bit, so you know how your favorites, you just went to your favorites, and you have to open the drop down, and then you have to select your report, then you have to open the drop down again, and it's like a new report. We're just going to have it on the sidebar here. So once you bookmark something, you'll be able to quickly and instantly go through and click on your gap fill, your opening range, your initial bounce, whatever else you bookmark to the side here, you're going to have it there. Same thing with your watch list. So now we're allowing you to favorite certain tickers. So if you want to have FDAX, you want to have the pound dollar, you want to have whatever, ES, NQ, all in one place. Even if you want to have Tesla and NVIDIA, you'll be able to instantly switch between any of the assets without having to change that, like go from stocks to Forex to crypto, whatever else. So that will do it instantly for you. Now,
that's clean.
Yeah. And all of this, what we want is for our users to tell us, hey, I want to see it like this. I want to see it like that. And then continuously kind of like give us feedback so we can make it better for you guys. Like we know right now Edgeful is not very customizable. And that's what the focus is now. As well as, arguably, in my opinion, this is going to be one of the most important pieces of the update, is going to be to replace let me just show you, is going to be to replace this drop down that we have. So this drop down here makes it pretty difficult for people to explore the reports. And we want to make sure that people have like a better time and an easier time going through the reports without having to click on each one and then watch the video and then read the text and everything else. So the way that we're trying to solve that is with this report discovery page. And in this report discovery page, it's going to be a pretty familiar like e-commerce feeling, to where you have your filters on the left, and then you have all the reports that appear based on your filters in the center. So this is going to be the place where you can discover the reports with a very quick and easy way to like kind of like see what's what. And like, for example, here, if you're filtering for price action, chart patterns, and scalper only, now you know the same way as if you're on Amazon or if you're shopping, everything will appear in here specific to your filters. So right here, if we zoom in a little bit, there's going to be a little explainer image for every report. So you're going to be able to see, okay, like for example, the opening range breakout one will have, okay, this is like kind of what it is. I kind of get a hint at what it is. And then this explainer button is going to bring a pop-up like this one that will give you a bigger version of the image, as well as one sentence explanation of what the report is measuring. So in this case, for the gap fill, it measures how often price touches the previous session's closing price. Is this something you want to explore? You can view the report. Is it something you want to bookmark? You can bookmark it from here. If it's not something you want to look at, you just click out and then it will close out. But this is the way for us to make it extremely easy for you to kind of see what's what, because some of our reports, like the name is not very indicative of what the report is. Like previous day's range could mean anything, but this will tells you how often the day closes green after breaking previous day's range. And that will be that one sentence where you can say, okay, I'm interested, bookmark.
Sure.
And from here is you can bookmark everything. And then you can also visit. Well, I'm curious, what are your thoughts on this before I move on?
That's pretty neat. I know for a fact that there's a lot of traders that are maybe slightly new to trading, or even like type of like systematic trading, if you want to kind of use like report classified as that. It's not really, we're still using discretion. I know you're running some algos, but I think that's good because a lot of traders are kind of overwhelmed. I know from my live streams, a lot of traders don't know what reports they want to use. And I think I think the biggest thing from your own trading is you got to find out, like, how do you want to trade?
Yeah.
Do you want to trade breakouts? Do you want to trade in trend? Do you want to trade reversals? How do you actually want to trade? Because there's a million ways to trade and make money in the markets. You got to find something that works for you. And I think this would be good. Yeah,
perfect. And another piece of this is going to be, once you do bookmark, you can go to your bookmarks dashboard. And here you can actually see all of the reports on one page. So for example, here you can see I would have gap fill bookmarked, market open volume. I'd have green and red days by weekday, whatever I bookmark, I can have it all on one page. So I can quickly go and digest everything. And these will be specific to weekday, specific to size, like everything will be like very tailored to today. So you're getting like the most recent and the most relevant information, looking at everything you want to see at once. So a lot of traders, they're very used to having their screens, their charts, everything on one page. I don't want to have to like have 85 things open. So this will be the page where you can have everything in one and you can kind of like experience it that way. As well as this is going to be your watch list. This is how you're going to build the watch list here. You can go type in any ticker, kind of add it to your watch list. So then when you do add stuff over here, you can, when you add stuff to your watch list, you'll have it on the side there. So you can always switch the ticker very easily on any report.
Yeah, that's very neat. That's very neat, bro.
There's a couple of things here. One of the other ones is the what's in play is going to change. So right now, the what's in play like takes up it's a lot of scrolling. And it takes up, each block takes up a lot of room. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a minimized or like a light version, which will look like this, where you can see it's like this would be the one for the opening range or the orb. It would tell you all the information you need here. And then if you want to maximize it, they will take up like one row each. So then you'll have a little bit more information. So you'll have that same card that you had on the other page, but you'll also have the streaks and you'll also have the percentages right here, like the edge on the side here. So this will be like a little more detailed view. And then you'll also be able to have this like lighter version, which you just want to see other, like all of the what's in place kind of together on that one screen without having to scroll up and down again.
Nice, bro. This is really neat. I like that you're always updating the user interface. I think making it easier for us traders is we're always going to appreciate that, right?
Yeah. No, it's extremely important. And one of the things that we want to also do is we're going to have a 5-question quiz that's going to allow you to kind of customize your experience before you come into Edgeful. So it's going to be, what type of trader are you? And you can select multiple. So if you day trade and you swing trade, or you want to select all three, you can. If you trade any specific assets, stocks, forex, crypto, or futures, you can select that here too. And that will change the default when you come into Edgeful. So right now it always defaults to stocks, which I'm sure some people think is very annoying. even for myself, like I always have to switch to futures as soon as I come in. I would like for that to be defaulted, and that's what this is going to be for. Then what sessions do you trade? So you're going to have each one of these. You can select multiple. You can select one. What tickers do you trade? Same thing. Build your watch list before you even come in. So when you come in, you have it all right there immediately. And then finally, based on all of the reports or based on all the answers you've done or you've selected, we're going to recommend certain reports for you. And from here, you're going to be able to bookmark them. So when you go into Edgeful, you'll have something bookmarked already. So then it kind of like builds the importance of bookmarking, because it will make your experience so much better.
Easy.
So you'll have something bookmarked right when you come in. So you'll have explainers here too. Like for those of you who don't really know like what's what, you'll see that there's an explainer button. Come down, you can click that. You'll still have that same card that shows you the one sentence explainer. So yeah, this is
very neat, bro.
Yeah, this is what we have.
No, this is looking really, really good. I'm sure the guys are going to enjoy it. I know I will.
Yeah.
Okay, and other than that, so we've got those updates. We've spoken about the opening candle continuation. We've spoken about my three. I will mention this. My three favorite, and I speak about this all the time. My three favorite ones. We're speaking about this in the back end.
Yeah.
Opening candle continuation, previous day's range, and the initial balance breakout. Those are the three that I use. I think you got to find maybe 2, 3, 4 that you like to use in your own trading. There's obviously a handful of them, but those are the ones that I use personally.
Yeah.
I think you got to find what works for you. I think this user interface will give a lot of traders, because I'm sure when you hop on and you do calls, right? I know one of the guys on my YouTube actually commented that he's De Villiers. He actually, ironically, I have a call with Andre later on tonight.
Yes.
So you do calls with guys that want to understand more about the platform as well, right?
Yeah. So my calendar is actually open 3 days a week from 1 to 4:30 or 1 to 5, and I will take calls with anyone who they're exclusively to our users. So you need to sign up to get one of the calls. But the reason I do that is because I want to hear directly what the user's problems are, so we can improve their experience and improve the app to make it easier for them to start trading profitably.
Sure.
We can hire someone to do that, to just say take these calls. But until it's completely unsustainable, which it's already kind of unsustainable, to be honest. Until it's completely unsustainable, I want to be the one to do them, because I'm obviously the one who puts together the concepts around this app, and I want to make sure that I have that direct contact with the users, so I can actually hear the problems and I don't need to play telephone with someone. So yeah, 3 days a week I have calls. If you're a user, you can talk to me directly. It's not like some chat bot. It's actually me on a Zoom call, on a Google Meet. So, yeah.
No, I like it a lot. I like it a lot, Andre. I always appreciate the work that you guys do, and I'm looking forward to, continue to use Edgeful in my own capacity, of course. But for the other guys to start to use Edgeful and use statistics in their own trading as well. Can you have entries that are discretionary? Yes, but I think once you have stats putting it behind, once we take our previous day's highs, I want to be looking for longs or whatever, opening candles bullish. I want to be looking for whatever it is. But I think that always puts the odds in the traders' favor.
Yeah. Sure.
So if you don't have anything else, I think. Okay. So again, guys, 9 to 10 a.m. Eastern time every single day. I'm in Edgeful's Discord live. So make sure to join me there and connect with other traders as well. If you guys, if you're sitting here and you don't have anyone to chat to about trading, that's the first place. It's free, right? You can join the Discord for free, and we'll check you in there. But I'm streaming tomorrow on ASFX TV right after that at 9:30, right, 10 o'clock. So we'll see you guys on there. But have a good rest of the day. I'm currently long on the dial. We'll see how this plays out. We're sitting at 7 points of drawdown. The dial can move like a beast at times, but it's actually been my most profitable pair, one of my most profitable pairs for assets in the last month.
Nice.
But have a good one, guys. We'll see you on for the next one.
Thank you.